Welcome to the video on the differences between scientific journals and magazines. If you've ever wondered why they're not the same, you're in the right place.
Scientific journals are periodicals that publish scholarly articles, research findings, and reviews written by experts in the field. Scientific journal is aimed at specialists and researchers.
Scientific articles use more technical language. Scientific articles contain original research and its conclusions based on data. Abstract and bibliography are indispensable in scientific articles.
A magazine is a periodical with a popular focus. Magazines aimed at the general public. Magazines contain news, personal narratives, and opinion. Magazine articles are written by professional writers with or without expertise in the subject. Magazine articles contain secondary discussion of events without documentation, but will have lots of eye-catching illustrations. Magazines use vocabulary understandable to most people.
The scientific journal article will have 1 title, 2 authors, 3 affiliation, 4 abstract, 5 introduction, 6 methods, 7 results, 8 discussion, 9 acknowledgement, 10 references. Let us have a quick look into what these are. 1 title. The title of a scientific paper will declare what the paper says and what it covers. 2 authors. The criteria for authorship as defined by the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. Authors of a paper should have conceived and planned the work that led to the paper or interpreted the evidence it presents, or both, written the paper, or reviewed successive versions and took part in the revision process, and approved the final version. 3 affiliation. An affiliation is the university or institution to which an author or authors belongs, or where authors have conducted a major part of the research that is discussed in their paper. For abstract. The formally structured abstract will have 4 basic sections: background, methods, results, conclusions. Background states the principal objectives and the scope of investigation. Methods describes the methods employed with in 3 sentences. Results summarizes the results in 3 sentences. Conclusions include the principal conclusions within 3 sentences. 5 introduction. Introductions contain a brief description of the problem and the proposed solution. There are few general statements that awaken interest in the reader. It is limited to 1 page in length. 6 methods. Methods are described in the order in which they were used. Methods should include all details, using which a trained scientist can repeat the investigation. 7 results. The results section summarizes and presents the findings of the study. It attempts to connect the results with research questions. The data presented in a logical sequence without bias or interpretation. Findings may be reported in written text, tables, graphs, and other illustrations. Only share relevant data and findings that connect with the goal of the study. Present the findings without analyzing or interpreting. 8 discussion. It has 4 parts. Main message, critical assessment, comparison with other studies, and conclusions. Main message answers the question posed in the introduction section with supporting evidence. Critical assessment explains any shortcomings in study design, limitations in methods, flaws in analysis, or validity of assumptions. Comparison with other studies starts comparison of results with consistent studies. Then consider studies less compatible and finally with studies that contradict. Conclusions comments on the implications and suggestions for further research. 9 acknowledgement. Thank the people who have really helped, but whose contributions do not justify authorship. Be specific. Thank the sources of financial assistance supporting the reporting study. The name and address should be as per their format. 10 references. A reference is a detailed description of the source of information that you want to give credit to via a citation. The references in research papers are usually in the form of a list at the end of the paper. Style of reference as per the standard of the publisher.
The magazine article will have headline, depending on the article, feature, column, or brief, and the magazine style. Heads can be tightly prescribed or open in format. Artwork. It doesn't matter if it's a photo, graphic, or an illustration. To a magazine designer, it's all art. This feature is organized around a single large photograph, an easy-to-parse, reader-friendly design strategy. Byline. It can be here or at the end, but don't forget it. By is capitalized. Deck, kicker, intro. Not all articles have a deck, but most features do. When used, they usually are longer and provide more specific information than the head. Body text. Most text in a magazine is in a single size, style, and leading referred to as body or text. Drop cap, a single large letter. Pull quote, larger than captions. Pull quotes are used to explain a photo. Pull quotes, decks, subheads, and captions all fall under the broad category of points of entry, call-out text that invites the reader into the story. Subhead. Subheads are used to break up large chunks of text and help the reader understand what will follow. Drop caps, line returns, and dingbats are also used to subdivide text. Credits. All art, with rare exception, should be credited. Some magazines place credits at the bottom, others next to the image. Folio. More than a page number, folios generally contain the magazine's name and issue date. Sidebar. A small story that relates to the main text. This sidebar is set off by a colored screen and is on a 2-column rather than a 3-column grid.
It's important to understand the differences between journals and magazines. We can differentiate a scientific journal and a magazine on the following parameters. 1. Content. 2. Author. 3. Audience. For language. 5. Layout and organization. 6. Bibliography and references. Let us examine these in detail.
Parameter 1. Content. Scientific journal articles provide detailed reports on original research or experiment.
Magazine articles present secondary reports or discussion. These may include personal narrative, opinion, anecdotes.
Parameter 2. Author. In scientific papers, the credentials of all authors will be published. They are scholars with subject expertise.
In magazine articles, the authors may or may not be named. He will be a professional generalist writer. He may or may not have subject expertise.
Parameter 3. Audience or readers. For scientific journal articles, the readers are scholars, researchers, and students, primarily aims to contribute to the advancement of knowledge, dissemination of research findings, and academic discourse within a specific field.
For magazine articles, the audience are general public. The interested non-specialist can have different purposes, such as news reporting, storytelling, opinion sharing, educational content, or promotional material.
Parameter 4. Refereed/peer-reviewed. For scientific journal articles, they are usually peer-reviewed. Articles undergo rigorous peer review by subject matter experts before publication, guaranteeing accuracy, methodological soundness, and adherence to scholarly standards.
For magazine articles, they are nor peer-reviewed.
Parameter 5. Language. For scientific journals, there is a specialized terminology or jargon of the field. The readers and authors requires prior knowledge.
For magazine articles, general usage vocabulary is used. This makes the magazine understandable to most readers.
Parameter 6. Layout and organization. Scientific journal has formal organization as seen in the beginning. Journal itself contains a collection of articles, research papers, reviews, and other scholarly contributions.
For magazine articles, organization limited to eye-catching type. Articles are generally concise, ranging from a few hundred to several thousand words. Includes illustrations or photographs not intended to present an idea with supporting evidence or come to a conclusion. Can be found in various forms, such as newspaper articles, magazine articles, blog posts, or scholarly articles.
Parameter 7. Bibliography and references. Scientific journals require all references. All quotes and facts can be verified.
For magazines, references are rare and scanty on information and about their sources. Articles organization limited to eye-catching type. Includes illustrations or photographs not intended to present an idea with supporting evidence or come to a conclusion.
You now understand what is a scientific journal article and a magazine article. We will examine more details on scientific journal articles in the coming videos. If you like this video, give a thought to subscribing and liking this video. Thank you.